So begins what feels slightly weird, talking to myself but talking to a camera and anyone who happens to be listening. Beginning of what I hope to be a long journey, rediscovering mountain biking, riding in general, and talking a little bit about myself and my battles with depression and how to cope. With the onset of Corona, everyone's sort of being a lot closer. My depression started to set in. It has been something that I have battled for many years, and have had ways of dealing with it in the past. Oh, come on. Which, much of that was through cycling and, generally speaking, through mountain biking. As you probably saw as I jumped on the bike, I'm riding an old carbon marathon. Have always loved this bike. Definitely served me well over the years. It's my bike and I go back about 15 years now, I think. Yes, it is time for an upgrade, and that's kind of part 3 to starting this video, in that depending how we go, might start up a Patreon group and go down that path. For now, I'm trying to find a bit of fitness again, rediscover the joys of mountain biking, make a few friends along the way, and with the help of some other YouTubers who don't know it yet, try and improve my riding ability, my riding style, challenge myself personally as well as physically on a bike, and sort of see just where this would get. I'd like to say I want to do a whole lot of reviews and stuff, but pure and simple, I don't have money to go out and buy bikes left, right and centre, and I'm not professional enough to give anything beyond what I like and what I feel. With that being said, most of my bikes have been GTs. Inspired, I suppose, initially by Hans Ray and his riding, what he used to be able to do on a GT Zascar. And my first real mountain bike happened to be a GT Zascar. Still have the frame. One day I might build it up as a sort of urban single speeder, but fitness level and skill levels need to improve a little bit before I do that. And then I had the Marathon Pro, and I've had a couple of BMCs. I have another 26-inch BMC 4-stroke that sadly has seen better days with the onset of 29ers and 27.5 bikes. I kind of got left behind. And now with 1x chain sets, everything I ride's a bit outdated. But while they turn, while they run, there's no point complaining. So tonight, I'm really just doing a couple of gentle laps on the triathlon track just near my home. Just to try and get used to turning the cranks over again. Let that muscle memory find its way. Get used to riding in the dark. I'm running what would normally be my helmet light on the bars of this at the moment. Picked it up out of China at a damn good price. I've actually been really impressed with the quality of the lights. This is on its lowest setting. I've already done a few rides about the same length as this one on the battery, and haven't had to charge it yet, so you do get a bit of life out of these. But for this trail, the lowest setting seems to be more than enough with street lights around and the general ambient light. So yes, I apologise. Not the most exciting of videos to watch, but this is more about an introduction, kind of where I want to go, what I want to do with it. I'd like to say I want to set it up as a support network, but I'll be honest in saying I struggle enough to support myself. But upon saying that, anyone who wants to come and chat, ask me questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I am reserved, probably a little bit cynical and overly cautious, but maybe it's time for some of that to change. So as I said, I do have my eye on a new bike, but with having a young family, spending reasonable money on a bike is difficult, despite how good the savings are and how depressed it makes me knowing we have the money, but for the sake of the family, shouldn't spend it right now. that ever since Julie started becoming popular, I've always liked Rocky Mountains. Back when they used to have a radically elevated chainstay. There's just something about them that I liked and have always liked. A few years ago, a guy from work was looking for a new bike. He was going through all the specials and I suggested he have a look at the Rocky Mountains. And sure enough, he did. Had a look at a few bikes, tried to see what deals he could get, and in the end, walked out with the Rocky Mountain Altitude. Fortunately for me, the bike shop he bought it from was closer to me than it was him. So I got to take it out for a test ride before he did. I only took it out to Wild, but was blown away. Just how balanced it was, how stable, and it was on 27.5 tyres, but just how different it was to riding the 26. Or maybe it was just how different it was to riding this. As had happened, we had started riding a bit together before work, and then he moved, which wasn't the worst thing in the world. He moved near Stromlo. I just need to make the time to drop in, say hello, and turn the cranks again. Yes, you can hear me breathing hard. It has been a while since I have really done enough exercise. I just said I've got two young kids who, one of them shown an interest in riding and mountain biking. The other certainly showed an interest in cycling, but after taking the training wheels off his bike, has just gotten a bit scared, which is funny considering that he's the braver of the two. But I want to find some fitness and start taking the boys out riding with me. The other weekend we went out camping, which again wasn't quite sure how everyone was going to go with it. It was cold, but we were in a tent, but everyone loved it, so that's a start. And as a result of that, I wouldn't mind looking at getting a camper trailer and putting bike rack on and finding some more remote places of Australia and exploring them through car and through bike. Which is, a few of those camping trips have certainly been a dream of mine for many, many years. Oh, I don't have the energy. Let's go. So I suppose some things are coming together. Other things still weigh down quite heavily. I'm coming to the end of this little cliff and my trip back home. Enjoying being back on the bike, but at the same time still longing for that new 29er. And at the same time longing for a bit of space from family to get out and enjoy it a bit more. But work plays a big part in that right now. And we're really busy and longer hours on a Saturday. Finding any more time away from family is really hard. And I'll be honest in saying torn between family and selfishness right now. But everything will work itself out one way or another. Well, that was part one of my little instalment. Now to try and work out how to edit this stuff and take myself on a crash course through video editing and learning. Hope you enjoyed and come back, and there'll be more riding and probably a few videos of really exciting, just me. I'll have to do up a montage. But yeah, thanks for coming along for the little ride.